Hello and welcome to this short video entitled The Innovation Process, brought to you today by CUE Business Solutions. From a business point of view, innovation is perhaps best described as the commercialisation of good ideas. That is to say, implementing ideas that generate a net benefit to the business and/or its customers. Now, the scope of innovation is endless. It can be applied to every aspect of a business, including the business vision, its strategy, its markets, its products and services, its people, processes, and indeed to the overall business model, to distribution channels, logistics, sales, marketing, finance, plant and machinery, operations, systems, and by no means least to your overall customer value proposition. Indeed, truly innovative businesses are innovating all the time across their whole business. The fact is, most businesses already have many innovative ideas that they're not commercialising. Our team of innovation business advisors never cease to be amazed at the sheer volume of great ideas being held within most UK businesses. Not only that, but most UK businesses also have a management and workforce more than capable of creating and implementing many more innovative ideas, and therefore the potential to engage much higher levels of commercial innovation and benefit to the business. But innovation doesn't just happen, at least not in a consistent, effective and ongoing way. It needs more than just good ideas to ensure that innovation is actually taking place and working to boost growth. The fact is, most businesses, whether large or small, tend to lack a robust process for innovation and therefore don't have the ability to effectively generate, capture, review, develop and commercialise ideas on an ongoing basis. Indeed, most would significantly benefit from taking objective specialist advice and support with the development of their innovations. And many would also benefit from working with third parties to provide additional expertise and support, although sadly too few businesses don't consider this as a viable option. Also, many businesses lack the funding and investment often needed to capitalise on their innovations and to grasp what in today's fast-moving markets are often quite narrow windows of opportunity. So in order to make the most of your ideas and capitalise on innovation, it makes sense to think about implementing a basic innovation process. There is significant growth in the recognition for the need for innovation processes. In fact, so much so that there is now a new standard for innovation management, CEN TS 16555. Now, whilst this is perhaps a step too far for most businesses, it goes to show the increased importance being placed on innovation as a key driver for business growth. However, the process we're about to go through now is far simpler and works just as effectively. It can be implemented quickly by any business of any size and developed to be more sophisticated over time. The innovation process we're talking about is really quite simple. In fact, it's a 5-stage model. The first stage is the need to capture or create your good business ideas. Second, to evaluate and prioritise the ideas. Thirdly, to develop the ideas to a sufficient level in order to prove their viability. Fourthly, to complete the development and make ready for implementation. And then fifth and finally, to implement and turn the ideas into commercial reality. Now, before we go through this 5-stage process in a little bit more detail, there's one very important thing you must always bear in mind. If you plan to legally protect your ideas, especially if any of them are patentable, then be very aware of the need to keep your ideas safe and not to divulge them outside of your business other than to trusted business advisors or by using non-disclosure agreements. Make sure that your staff contracts of employment also cover the non-disclosure of business information. Failure to do this could easily result in you not being able to patent or protect your ideas. If in any doubt, then take professional advice as early on as possible in the process. Okay, let's go through the 5 stages in more detail. Stage 1, the need to capture and create ideas. Well, most businesses, as previously said, have lots of existing ideas, but they're often in the heads of the management and staff. They may well be often talked about and be common knowledge in the business, but they just haven't been fully acted on and turned into commercial benefit. You need to capture on these existing ideas, write them down in sufficient detail so that they can be carefully considered, discussed and developed more fully, and then prioritised in order to decide which ones are taken forward to stage 2. Now, if there's a shortage of good ideas, particularly in certain business areas, then maybe there's a need to start thinking about how to generate new ideas. Now, there are a number of common triggers that you can use to start the idea creation process. The first of these is market-driven ideas. Many of the best new ideas are market-driven because it often means that there is a ready-made market demand. This is because customers have requested them and therefore identified a potential gap in the market for you. There are numerous ways of engaging customers with ideas generation, from simply talking to them to carrying out market research, surveys, focus groups and so on. For many businesses, simply visiting and talking to key customers about their ideas and with your ideas, you can often reap great rewards. Sometimes creating ideas is about solving a known business problem, which could be, for example, with the business process, or with an issue that the company has got that's challenging its ability to grow. Sometimes idea generation can be objective driven. It's simply a means to an end. For example, the need to increase sales, to reduce waste, to increase productivity, or to reduce absenteeism. These can all be stimulation for ideas. Ideas can also be generated by using external stimuli, perhaps say as a result of new technologies appearing in the marketplace, new systems, routes to market, social change, or perhaps something that's being driven by legislation. There is no reason why every single member of management and staff cannot be involved in idea generation, simply in relationship to their own daily work or the work of their teams. There is very little in any business that cannot be in some way improved and innovated. Of course, having captured all these ideas and chosen the best to move forward, then you need to objectively evaluate and prioritise them. That brings us nicely to stage 2 of the process: evaluate and prioritise ideas. This is your initial evaluation of your ideas, the opportunity to sort the wheat from the chaff. This isn't a massively detailed review, just a preliminary look in order to help prioritise ideas and not to waste too much time on the ideas that have got no real prospect of success. First of all, you need to look at ideas from an internal perspective. You need to look at the strategic fit of the ideas, look at how they fit in with your overall vision and goals. Then consider the capabilities of your business to be actually able to develop and implement the idea. You need to look at the resource implications, the human, physical and financial. Of course, many good ideas require very little resource and simply need a decision to be made and instruction given to go ahead. Indeed, for many small internal developments, the key is often employee empowerment and allowing people to get on and to make changes. Externally, you need to be sure that for any innovation that's going to go forward into the marketplace, that there is an adequate market opportunity for that idea, and that you are not producing something that ultimately the market won't want to buy. Again, you're reminded to do so with caution if the innovation involves potentially protectable intellectual property. If you believe your innovation will be new to the market, then you need to check this out and make sure that there is nothing comparable already in the market. If there isn't, then just remember that sometimes there is a very good reason why not. So you really do need to make sure that there is a genuine market opportunity there for you to take. So you need to look at potential competition. Find at least basic supporting evidence that your innovation should work in the target marketplace and that it could be competitive. So moving on now to stage 3, develop to prove viability. You've done the initial evaluation of your innovative ideas and have been able to prioritise the best. You then need to move to develop the idea further in order to start to prove its true viability. Now, as already mentioned, some ideas are very simple, very easy to do, and the viability is very apparent. This stage and beyond is really for those bigger ideas which carry a higher level of risk and reward. For example, ideas for new products, which can be much more complicated and expensive to develop. For example, if it needs an investment in research and development, possibly partnering with third parties, or the need to develop prototypes for testing and piloting and so on. You also need to look at the timescale and how quickly the idea can be developed. You need to look at cost, you need to consider market testing, and you need to consider the size of the market, and ideally you would seek some customer validation if it's going to be something you're going to take into the market. You need to maybe consider putting an outline business plan together for this innovation, and of course to seriously look at intellectual property protection. This is also the stage at which you may need to look for potential funding and investment opportunities. At the end of this stage, which can be quite complex and time consuming, you end up needing to be confident that taking the idea forward is a worthwhile investment for the business, and that the opportunity cost and risk reward ratio makes sense. So assuming the idea proves to be viable at stage 3, then stage 4 is to conclude development of the idea. This is where you continue and complete the full development of the idea, ready for introduction into the business or launch into the market. It may cover some of the same ground as stage 3, only this time with a clear aim of being able to bring the innovation to fruition and to make it a reality. This stage can often be very time consuming and expensive, as it will typically require any major investments to be made in R&D, in new resource and in people. This takes us to stage 5, whereby the idea is ready to be commercialised. The need to actually introduce the innovation either into the business, into the market, or both. Hopefully by now all the planning for this will have already been done for this stage, and resource and funds will be in place. So this stage is all about managing that implementation plan and measuring the results, checking that they're in line with what you assumed, and tweaking strategies and tactics if required. The importance of this stage cannot be underestimated. If the innovation is a departure from what the business has traditionally been doing, then there is the need to inform, educate, train and engage with staff. Even your supply chains and channel partners should not be overlooked to make sure that they too are on board with the new ideas. Eventually, this stage of course then merges into the ongoing running of the business. So, that's it, the basic innovation process. It isn't that complicated, it isn't rocket science, but what it does do, if you follow it, is ensure that your ideas stand the best possible chance of being commercialised and giving great benefit to your business. Small ideas may sail through the process, larger ones may need a great deal of management. But either way, the thinking behind this process will help you move your ideas forward and enable you to become a more innovative business. So, if you've got good ideas in your business, and you probably do, then maybe you owe it to your business to act on them and commercialise them. Maybe now is the right time to start to think about innovation as a process and no longer as an ad hoc activity. If you feel that you need or would benefit from support for your innovation process, then CUE Business Solution offers a free innovation management advisory service to eligible UK SMEs located in the West or East Midland regions. Indeed, we can offer up to 9 days specialist advisor support. We can help you to crystallise your ideas and to find new ones. We can help you to remove barriers to innovation and put a robust innovation process in place. We can support the innovation process throughout. We can also provide you with referrals to funding, to academia, to research partners, business partners and other specialist third parties. So as they say, there is no time like the present. Why not give us a call for an initial discussion on how we can help you implement your innovation process and commercialise your ideas. We are here to help. Please use the contact details shown here. So just to say thank you very much for listening, and we wish you all the very best with your innovation process.